All right, everybody, I'm Stone Cold Steve Austin. Welcome to the Broken Skull Sessions. My next guest had one of the most fascinating runs in the history of the wrestling business. Back in the day when I used to walk through the airports, people used to yell at me, Goldberg. Conversely, sometimes when he walked through the airports, people would yell, hey, Stone Cold. It pissed both of us off because we were in competition. We worked for opposing companies, WCW versus WWE. It was the Monday Night Wars. That was an insult. We took it personally. These days, when someone calls me Goldberg, I smile and consider it a compliment. My guest today is a guy who I've become really good friends with. One of the most fantastic runs in the history of the business. I introduce Bill Goldberg. How are you, brother?
I'm awesome, man. It's good to see you.
You remember those days?
I mean, it's good to see you. Yeah, do I remember those days? It happened last Monday. You kidding me?
Where at?
I'm in Milwaukee, I think it was, and the Delta agent comes up, and I knew, it was itching at him, right? And he comes up and he goes, has anybody ever told you look like Steve Austin? And I went, no offense, dude, but don't you have a manifest in front of you that you probably should have read prior to putting your foot in your mouth like that?
Right.
Hey, dude, just like you eloquated a moment ago, back in the day, it used to piss me off exponentially. But, I'm honored and privileged, man, to be mistaken for such a worldwide movie star and celebrity. And
But on the other,
it's an honor.
On the other side of that, I was like, man, Bill's a lot more jacked up than me. But
that's why.
Call me Goldberg.
Yeah, that's what pissed me off back in the days because I was like 3 bills,
Right.
And I don't know, what were you, 270 at the moment?
No, man, 250. It depends on how hard I was
felt
running.
like, man, everybody's like, dude, man, you're all skinny. But, I mean, look at me. I mean, that's what happens when you get old. But, hey.
No, you look great now.
The fact
back
is
then,
that I always should have looked at it as an honor, but every once in a while, it would piss me off a little.
But that shows how competitive we were back in the day. And here's the thing. I'm sitting right 4 feet from you. Goldberg, Stone Cold Steve Austin. The dream match that never happened.
Coolest thing
what
ever.
the happened? Look at that.
It's your fault that you even brought it back up because what was it, a couple weeks ago you said that, you could possibly be doing a match, and now it's like I'm 800 years past my prime, if I even ever had a prime, and it's like, now, really?
Hey, but here's the thing.
Yeah,
I get taken out of context all the time. I say, hey, man, in theory, I could have a match. And I'm just trying to say, I feel okay after all the damage I've been through.
Yep.
I'm in no way dangling or trying to tease a match. And all these people want to jump on, and it's like, hey, man, let's fantasy book Stone Cold.
But you know what?
Hey, you. I don't want to be fantasy booked.
Here's the deal. The deal is that we should look at it as a huge compliment because there are still people out there that clamor for us doing our thing. You much more so than me, but the fact is that you still have a huge fan base, and anybody would die to see you getting back in the ring, as would I.
Let's just say, okay, Stone Cold versus Goldberg, but when you came to the WWE, I was fading out, and I was beat up and battered. You were coming in. A little bit dazed and confused, but in theory, I was thinking, man, had you jumped a little sooner, we might have seen that match, but we didn't see it. But it's fun to think about it. Do you agree with just the windows not lining up?
Well, there's no question. I mean, I don't know what was going on, but they wouldn't let me anywhere near you when I went there.
I was fading out.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
But
you remember I welcomed you. We was in the Northeast somewhere, and I was over talking events.
Yeah,
and I welcomed you aboard.
It was a weird situation. I liken it to, if you played college sports, I'd likened it to being a member of the football team walking into a frat party. I just didn't feel like I belonged, It was because we were at each other's throats company-wise, such a fevered pitch. And so once I got there, it was weird for me because it was widely documented that I wasn't the easiest person to get along with, mainly because 90% of the people who broke me into the business would steer me the wrong way, and so I didn't really trust anybody.
I know.
Except for the Minnesota boys.
And, I kind of, invented that DTA thing, don't trust anybody. It was kind of a shoot for me as well. But when I think about your wrestling career, and I know that it's back in the day growing up as a kid in Tulsa, you watched the business, You watched a little bit with your grandmother in Tulsa.
Man, we used to watch Texas Championship Wrestling, Brody and the Von Erichs and Ivan Putski, and man, it was an unbelievable time.
But it was something you watched, but you weren't
Yeah.
enamored with. You were a football guy. I just think you were destined to get into the wrestling business because your great-grandfather wrestled Frank Gotch. You start watching with your grandmother, but you're a football guy.
Yep.
You would ultimately end up in Atlanta, and then your football career would stop. But
And my roommate at the Rams, my rookie year, was Kevin Green, who did the best Hulk Hogan impression and whose idea it was for me to break into the business to begin with.
and your brother Mike roomed with Ric Flair.
And
Y'all
Patera.
called Flair and say, hey man, Bill might get into the wrestling business. But let's go back to the football days. Tell me about your love or what you got out of playing football that ignited you and that you were so passionate about.
I remember having no other focus whatsoever, no end game, no light at the end of the tunnel other than me putting a helmet on and getting to smash people. It just, for me, it was the coolest thing ever. Not because it's of the individual gain that I got out of it, but I mean, I'm a team player, man. I like being part of a team and us, banding together for one common goal. It ain't got to be the quarterback. Put me in the middle of the dirty, nasty stuff, because if you want that done, I'll do it. And for me, the average football play is 18 seconds. And you can learn a lot about a person, about life, and about yourself in that 18 seconds. And it was a reset every 18 seconds. I got to smash a dude again, or I got to pay him back, or I got to do it. Just,
But what'd you enjoy about smashing people?
man, it's that feeling. I don't know what it is. Yeah. It's what, when you walk down the ramp and you take a deep breath and you look at all the people and you just feel that energy. It's not a dominance thing. It's just, it might be a dominance thing. I mean, there needs to be people.
Competitive.
Well, yeah, but there needs to be people in the world that cut meat, right? Well, there also needs to be nose guards that weigh 275 that'll try to rip your face off every play, because that's what he loves to do. Not because of a goal that he attains, but the feeling he gets on that one-on-one competition. I don't know. It's archaic. I mean, it's just, I thrive on it. I really do.
That's where all your problems disappeared?
I don't know if it was a release. I don't think, even if I had the easiest childhood in the world, I still would have loved to play football.
Right.
Because there's nothing other than stepping on the gas and watching your tires explode. There's nothing that can give you that feeling. Walking down the ramp in front of 50,000 people, that can give you the feeling too, but it's a different, archaic, medieval, just freaking raw feeling that I just love.
Finally want to get to your wrestling career, but you were all SEC, 88, 89, second team All-America, 89. Drafted 302nd in the 11th or 13th round?
11th round, man. That was back when they had 10 days.
With those accolades, why so late?
I think it had something to do with my transgressions at the end of the year, prior to the Gator Bowl. We were playing Michigan State, and the partying was really heavy at the University of Georgia, and I found myself in a position to where I partied a little bit too hard, along with a number of other people, but unfortunately, or fortunately for me, I was the only one that kind of got nabbed on the NCAA drug test. But it's a story of my life. You live and learn, and you're on to your next endeavor. And I took a step back, but the fact is, you got to look at it like a learning experience, and hopefully I learned something from it, and I came back bigger and better, the next year, and it is what it is.
Injuries just are piling up a little bit, but you end up going to the Los Angeles Rams. And I'll be damned if you didn't get cut once, you got cut twice. How crushing of a blow was it to get cut once by Robinson and by Bill Shaw? Your dream is to be an NFL player. They said, see you later.
That's the only thing I ever wanted to do.
Right.
So you talk about depression, you talk about not having a way in your life, you talk about not having an end game. I had no idea what I was going to do. None whatsoever. My dream, the only dream that I ever had, was completely taken away from me because of my inability to be good enough to stay. But after the second time I was cut from the Rams, I went to the World Football League and Sacramento Surge, and we won the World Championship. And then 3 weeks after that season was over, I went and signed with the Falcons.
And you're beat up.
Oh,
yeah.
God, but went straight into training camp.
Yeah.
And, you're not going to say anything because, for God's sakes, that spot that you have at that one time, you don't want to lose it. Nice hair. But I had no choice, and so I worked my ass off. And then I got hurt in the last preseason game in '94. I tore my abdomen off of my pelvis, and I freaking was on the team the whole year. And they didn't know what was wrong with me, and I mean it was a little bit painful, say the least. 3 weeks after the season, I get cut on. They figure it out. Then I get thrown into the supplemental draft, and Carolina picks me up, and they have no idea what's going on. And so I'm there where a brand new team is trying to start from the ground up, and I can't even walk. So I'll never forget, I walked into the head coach and I said, as much as I want to be here, I mean, this is not going to work out, because I mean, I'm not that good to begin with, and now I'm already way behind the 8 ball. So let's do that. And I left. And my accountant called me and said, hey, man, you didn't make millions of dollars, so you might want to get off your ass and do something. Yeah. And so I went to frickin' Main Event Fitness, and I lifted more weights than any human being ever should be able to lift as an outlet.
Okay, so you're at Main Event Fitness. Again, I always think, man, for some reason, you're on this track to be a pro wrestler, but you're not really passionate about the business like you are with football.
The reason why I was not one reason that I was kind of turned off a little bit was when I was at Georgia, we had a day game. We'd have the ability to get in our cars afterwards and drive to Atlanta and party. And you know how Atlanta was during those days, confettis and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it was interesting,
okay,
to say the least.
So let's go back to your Main Event Fitness. Mm-hmm. Staying in Luger, Bagwell's there. You meet a couple of guys. You've met Diamond Dallas Page out on his head a few times.
I saw some people out,
yeah.
And I'm being a psych major, and I mean, we're entertainers, right? But for the most part, when I'm not on, I don't want to be involved with anything. I want to be invisible. I want to be that fly on the wall so that I can just chill, and relax. And so I'm observing people, and some dude comes in like wearing a belt, like he's wearing his belt, dude. And I'm like,
really?
There's no way. And full disclosure,
yeah.
The only guy I knew in the business at that time was Dallas. And Dallas, we all know how Dallas is. He's the best self-promoter in the world. And he's a carny,
Yeah.
That's his shtick.
Yeah.
That's what he does. And I just, I played football in Georgia, and people knew me for ripping guys' heads off. And I couldn't accept the fact that they could see me doing one thing and then doing something completely the opposite in front of them, and how can I pull that off? It was just weird for me. It's like I didn't want to walk in and have people go, hey man, that's a professional wrestler, because at the time I knew the Steiners really well.
Yeah.
And I knew Sting, but all the different personalities were so much different. I really had no indication of what truly the wrestling business was all about, And what I saw those couple of times, I was like, man, I don't want to be called one of those guys. And then lo and behold, here we are.
Okay, so you end up going down to the world famous power plant. Sergeant Buddy Lee Parker. Sarge. And was that a picture of a facility you were training at? Because I was thinking that looks way more sophisticated.
That's way nicer than it looked when I was there.
When you were there might have been 1 or 2 rings. Because I remember Van Hammer jumped on a pole one time and sliced his hands open because it was a much more cramped space.
Yeah.
That's pretty scientific.
That's scientific, because I remember I think there were 2 rings at the most at the time, because I had a little video camera set up over here.
Yeah.
I would video me every single day from the first day, and I still got them.
Really?
From the first day to the last day, because what I'd do is I'd go home. I didn't know the craft, right? But I had an idea, and I'd go home and I'd watch my video, and then I'd watch, Pancrase or UFC stuff. No, UFC back in the day, it was different. UWF.
Right.
I'd watch those guys, and I knew that MMA was going to be huge one day, and I figured, here's a guy that people already knew played football, and so they can get the big monster thing. And then if I go MMA, then that's new. That's groundbreaking. That's what I see for the future. And then if I've been training it for a long time anyway, and if I can learn some things and try to do it without hurting people, then it's a viable character,
Okay, you're down to the power plant. Sarge is leading the charge, and you're doing the drills. For instance, when I got into wrestling school, the gentleman Chris Adams Academy, I stood out just because I had somewhat of a physique, long blonde hair. You're standing out. Have you shaved
They
the head
had
yet?
Bob Sapp there at the time.
Okay, well, Bob Sapp's a different freak in his own
So I didn't
universe.
stand out at all.
No, you did because, dude, look at
I
you.
did and I didn't, but because there were a bunch of big dudes that Chase Tatum was down there. There were a bunch of big monsters, and Bob
right.
was 375, dude,
I follow you.
360. You know, I was
But also, okay, taking into consideration that your athletic ability was off the charts.
true,
And the footwork from the D-line stuff.
It was different, and I could do a back freaking handspring at 290. You know,
Right.
I mean, so I
How
brought
did you
something
take to the
different.
system?
Better question was, how did I take to Sarge?
Copy.
Because if a guy like Sarge didn't lead the charge, I don't know if I would have done it. Because Sarge pushed my ass.
But you respected him.
Absolutely, and I respected the shit out of him. But I didn't respect a couple other people down there because of the character that they knew and the way that they chose to lead people. I mean, I needed somebody like a Heyman, somebody with an aggressive, with a vision. They tried to kill me down there. They tried to kill everybody. But the fact is that if you come from a professional sport, they think you're a cocky son of a bitch, right? And they think that you should have shit handed to you. Well, I knew that there was no frickin' way that Buddy Lee Parker or anybody could do anything to me that I couldn't handle because of my experiences on the football field. There ain't nothing tougher than a 3-a-day in Georgia heat, you know, pads all day.
Right.
I'm sorry. I mean, you can go to war, yeah, but other than that, good luck. So I kind of smiled at everything he threw to me. And when Bob's yakking in a trash can over there, and I'm just looking at him like, yep, that's what they want to do to me, but it ain't happening. So, but I loved Sarge and everything he taught me.
You have your camera set up over there. When you go back and you watch yourself, what are you thinking? What's the game plan? Because how long would you be at the power plant before you would make your debut in some dark matches?
6 months. Oh, that was all. But I worked at my ass off every day. Kenny Chaos and Robbie Rage. Those two probably helped me more than anyone because they were like my guinea pigs, and they were MMA guys. Well, Rage was. Because I co-owned the largest MMA gym in the freaking world at that point before my partner stole money from me. But that was a dream of mine. And I had like a 30,000 square foot MMA gym in Atlanta right when I broke in the business, and I had, you know, Couture and everybody coming down and training at my gym. And so it was a great place for me to test stuff out.
Okay, so when did they decide it's time for Bill Goldberg to make his debut? Because I know you'd made a couple of dark matches under the name of Bill Gold, and then all of a sudden they decided to put you on television. You know, what was the thinking behind that as far as them telling you, hey man, Bill's ready, let's put him out there and see how he does?
Well, you know, to tell you kind of where they were thought process-wise, when I went out to do a dark match at Universal, I remember walking up to Jody Hamilton, and he goes, what do you want them to call you? And I'm like, call me the Hybrid. He's like, the Hybrid, we can't do that. I said, why not? He goes, well, if you ever tell a shirt, we're going to have a trademark issue. And I said, merchant, I ain't never sell no shirt. Call me Goldberg.
You were looking at the short game.
Yeah, he goes, what's your finish? I said, what? He goes, what are you going to do at the end? It's got to be big and powerful. And I'm like, okay, I'll figure it out. And so we go out there, and they're introducing us, or the referee's going over the particulars, and I look, it was Manny Fernandez. And I look at Manny, and I go, Manny, do you trust me? And he goes, what's he going to say? He goes, yeah. I said, well, when it comes to the finish, just tuck your chin and spread your legs and kiss your ass goodbye. He goes, well, okay, whatever. And so, man, I ran him over like nobody's business, got to the back. Everybody was standing there like, what'd I do? I said, whatever you do, do that every single time. I'm like, I just did a football tackle. I don't know what. And so to answer your question, the streak was organic. My timing was organic. No one had a plan. They just kind of shot from the hip and fed people at a time when satiating people's desires was the cool thing to do. I think they just gave the people what they wanted because they saw how it there was a glimmer of it in the beginning, and people kind of were frenzied because it wasn't normal. By the time they figured out what was going on, it was over, and it was short and powerful, and they wanted more.
So there wasn't a whole lot of planning.
There was no planning. I remember.
But
when
Bischoff was in charge, right?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
There was no planning. So I remember Thursday. There was a Thursday night. I'm sitting at home, living in Dawsonville, and I'm looking at Thunder. And J.J. Dillon comes out and he goes, "We have breaking news. Monday, live, Georgia Dome, Goldberg versus Hollywood." What? Who? I had no freaking idea. I found out when everybody else found out. I was just a piece of the puzzle, and they figured out on the fly when to plug whatever in, and I just did what they told me.
Okay, question. Would you call yourself an overnight sensation?
Depends on your definition of that.
Okay, I know the hard work.
I was in the
put
right place at the right time. There's
Correct,
no
but
doubt
the
about it.
hard work was put in the
Hogan
power
and those
plant.
guys had come down from you guys. It was the perfect timing. They were big heels, and they needed somebody to be the good guy. And somebody that, ironically, that they made on their own, a homegrown guy that just came out of nowhere. And I guess I was the guy.
But I would say that you were an overnight sensation. When I started studying your body of work and looking at all the pieces, when you started talking about hybrid, I mean, you were right on track with what you ended up doing. You know, I just saw great striking, great kicks, you know, a limited moveset, but pure power, pure explosiveness. It wasn't about you going out there and telling a 20-minute.
That's what everyone does.
Yeah.
And that's not good, bad, or indifferent. That's normal wrestling. But mine was kind of like feeding people to the lions. It was completely different. It was shock and awe. And by the time you figured out what was going on, it was gone, so you wanted more. I learned a lot of things from a lot of people. I remember I was training, and I threw a guy into the corner, and I hit him 15 times, and he's still on his feet. And they were all powerful body shots, and I made him come with an elbow, and Sarge comes up, and he goes, "Why'd you do that?" I said, "What do you mean? I wanted to make it look strong." He goes, "Then hit the sumbitch once and drop him." I'm like,
Food for thought.
Then I'm doing a match with Barbarian, my second match. I take a belly to belly from the top turnbuckle, right? I get to the back. Eric Bischoff runs up to me and he goes, "Don't you ever do that." And I'm like, "What'd I do?" He goes, "You're never climbing up there again." Hey man, Barbarian, I love him, I respect him, I just did what he asked me to do. And so I kind of learned a little bit about a lot of things at that time, slowly but surely. People didn't have to tell me certain things, but I figured it out. Hogan, less is more. Sarge, when you think you're going slow, slow down. I'm a very basic person. I truly am. It's kind of like life. There's so much bull going on right now, and people overthink everything. Well, if you're a good person and you treat people how you want to be treated, it's pretty freaking simple, right? So I just had a good work ethic. I tried to listen to the right people, and I hope for the best.
To me, I thought, well, you came out and you made maximum impact. Short range of moves, powerful, devastating moves that fit the bill.
That were realistic.
And the intensity factor was off the charts. When I look at your first match, when you start going television, you were already in the ring like a J-Bron.
I was.
Or they were announcing you as an unknown.
I was a J-Bron.
They was giving Hugh Morris a little bit of a shove there. Bill's a big dude.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Look,
Now watch, look. This is a green guy standing in the corner, not selling nothing. Look at that. Menace. No intimidation on your end as far as, emitting it, but not feeling it.
Yeah.
Look at that. Dude, you can't deny that.
Well,
Wham!
and that was
Bill's
different.
a big dude.
That was different,
Okay, watch this. Okay, look at the way you're picking him up. Look at the
No,
body
he
language.
didn't go with me.
No, dude, I know.
I took him, dude. Look at that.
That's it. Bam! Down. Here's what I love here. Watch this. Love this. Love this. Couple things going on here from a scouting perspective. Here's what I'm seeing. Pure power. That was your first match, okay? That wasn't dark. You dominated that guy, and he goes over. We got that. But you didn't want the referee to raise your hand. I like that. It was like, hey, don't, leave me alone. But let's send out a message. People watched that. It drew
You
them
can't
in.
go backwards from there.
Another
That's
thing,
why.
yeah, another thing also, the trademark grapevine of the legs, with both legs, or at least one all the time, different and unique, but also to ensure that win. So just something that, on a technical note, that a lot of people might miss, but I loved it as a trademark.
Thank you.
It was respect, but it was also, hey, here's what I got to do to get this guy pinned. So this is what I'm going to do after that high impact maneuver.
Make everything mean something.
You run through Hugh Morris. You do the next match with the Barbarian, who I thought was very giving. And yeah, you did the belly to belly, but man, that's Barbarian.
My God.
You go through Roadblock, who weighed over 400 pounds, okay, and then you go through Scotty Riggs. You catch him outside, pure power, and then 168 more would follow. The streak was created. But when I look at your debut and the way you handled yourself in those first 5 matches, dude, from the word go, it just said superstar. And then they started feeding the machine and lining up opponents.
Thank you.
What were you feeling during that? Because green guys that got to put in time, man, you're lost out there.
I was doing what I thought was right. I was protecting. I know that you can't go backwards, right? So you can't go out and start talking and smile and get punched and get dropped. You can't come back from that unless you're Steve Austin, you reinvent yourself and you do something down the road. I had to start with the precedent and set the stage, and I couldn't go backwards from there. And I always got because of it, because people think like I'm the one who picks it, and the fact that I didn't take bumps and it's not my call. I was the guy. I was in that spot. There's guys to win, there's guys to lose. When you're the guy that wins 110,000 in a row, it's easy to say, hey, I was just a team player. But I'm a team player. There are a lot of things in my career that people who are fans of me can look at and give as examples as to why they're fans. And there's a lot of things in my career that people can look at as detractors and say, well, he sucks because of this. There are a lot of things that I feel like define me, but here's the one that I'm going to tell you and everyone else that I truly am more proud of than anything in the world. And I put it out on Instagram a couple months ago. Bobby Eaton. Remember?
I love Bobby Eaton.
Okay, this was Bobby Eaton taught the Guerreros, Steiners, Sarge, Dallas. There's a lot of people who really helped me that a lot of people have no idea about, like zero. Eaton helped me out so much, Sting so much. We're in the middle of my streak, and I still don't know from Shinoa, right? And we're in his home frickin' town, right? And he's put me over that night, and I am begging Arn Anderson to let me put him over. Whether it's a show or not, I wanted him to be the man that night. And it meant everything to me. And in the beginning, I don't know what the brevity of the streak, but frick, as a man, I wanted to do that.
Right.
I don't want to say I'm a great guy. I just want people to understand
Right.
that that's me. That's my thought process. And in that night, in that moment, it meant more for me to make him the guy than anything about this streak thing that they were talking about.
Okay, but how did the match go down? Jackhammer, but you wanted to do.
Yeah, I wanted him to pin me.
Right.
I wanted him to pin me.
Side
right?
note.
And it would have killed everything. But
Well,
for
yeah.
me, it was, man, I don't know. It was wrestling. But for me, it was the right thing to do. And I loved him, and it's the way I could pay him back.
So,
But I didn't know much about the business
No.
at that point, and I was like, why can't I do it? And now
Yeah.
thinking back on it, it's the most ridiculous
Yeah.
thing in the world. But it just shows my character. you know.
it shows your
just-
true character.
I just love the man, and I could never repay guys like that who made me the person and character that I was coming up.
Yeah, but man, I tell you what, when you get on a lightning bolt and you get a chance to ride on it and stay on it,
I get it,
you know,
but
you got to
yeah.
stay on it. Here's the thing: when you came in, all of a sudden, WCW decides, hey, we're going to go live on Monday night against Raw, and we're going to call our show Nitro. Had a pretty damn good show. All of a sudden, here's Bill Goldberg, and the Monday Night Wars ensued. And y'all kicked our ass. I think they call it 83 weeks. I call it 2 years. And I was like, man, it caught me in a shoot. Because I was like, God, our show's better than theirs. Now, I had a couple times, for a while, y'all had a pretty hot show. And that's why we was getting our ass handed to us. We had like 10 million people watching. And so I was in that for a shoot as you were coming along because, hell, it's 1998. You're a year and a half in the business. You're the rookie of the year, 98. United States champion. You're about to beat Hulk Hogan for the World Heavyweight Championship. We'll talk about that in a second. How caught up in the Monday Night Wars did you get? Because I considered it a shoot.
And I wanted to kill you. I wanted
Me
to
personally?
go. Well, yeah, because you represented the enemy. That's all.
Yeah.
I
love that.
But I never could have made it where I was without you being Steve Austin, and I was the copycat over at WCW.
Did you feel like that?
Did I feel like it? Only when people said something about it.
Because you wouldn't do. Because when I look at it,
I'd say there's a huge freaking difference between those two guys right there. Huge. Maybe not that picture, but the other
really,
two, it's huge difference.
Yeah, and different mindsets, but a parallel.
Absolutely.
But
you and I couldn't be any more alike, but be more unlike each other.
I agree.
So
it was a shoot to you. We were in the trenches. We were doing battle. At some point in time, we ended up kicking y'all's ass, and WCW was bought out for pennies on the dollar. But before that happened, it was July 6, 1998, at the Georgia Dome in Atlanta, your hometown, and you've got to go through Scott Hall to get through Hulk Hogan. You dispatched Scott Hall. You and Hogan, arguably the biggest name in the history of the business. You've got him up. After you speared him, jackhammer, 1, 2, 3. Bam! Look at that. Like that.
lightest spear I've ever done.
Exactly, and I know why. Helping a brother out.
Hell yeah. This one too. It's letting him down.
Normally, you kind of shove a guy under your armpit.
Christ, yeah. Well, I catch myself with my knees and my shoulders here. You can tell if you like the person or if I like him or not. I mean, look at that. I didn't,
It was like Brody and Hansen when they worked with the Function Japan. Okay. Dude, look at that. Look at that. Look at the excitement. Look at this. How can you not love that? The intensity, the energy, the adrenaline, the testosterone.
And they announced it Thursday night before, and there were 44,000 people that made it there. Just imagine if it was advertised it would have been huge. It was awesome. It was surreal, And I go into the room beforehand, and I got to go through Hall first, which he and I have never gotten along, and I wanted to eat him more than anybody in the business.
Right.
And then I got to go with Hogan, and I'm scared shitless. I don't know what's going on. I just do what everybody tells me to do anyway. And here I got Hogan, and so I go in, and I say, what are we doing? And he goes, we'll call it in the ring, kid. And I went, you're kidding me, right? And so, and he'll tell you this, freaking lock up, pulls it headlock, icy hot. He's got it all over his
Ribbing you?
Hell yeah. I couldn't see the whole freaking match.
Yeah, but he was a body guy. Did he just put it on? Because Bagwell wore the same stuff.
Did he wear it on his own? Whatever.
Okay.
It is what it is.
Hey,
I
you
deserved
never
it.
got
It's
better
all
than I do.
good.
Yeah.
It's all good. I was honored and privileged, to be in that spot. And the coolest part was, and you may be getting to it, but, it all went full circle. I had tried to play football. I got a certain amount of success. I had that taken away from me. I went into the wrestling business. I had no desire to do it from birth. I didn't have a love for it. I did as a fan, but I never assumed that I would be one of those guys because I was a football guy. It happened. I started to love it. I love it exponentially. And then I win the biggest night ever, and I got the Falcons there with me. Right?
Right.
And so this isn't a knock on the business at all, but the coolest part about that night is to have the guys that I always, every day, woke up to try to emulate and try to be, wanting to be me. I'm sitting in that corner, chained to the ring, and I'm going, man, there's like 4 all-pros right there, and they're having the time of their life, and they want to be me. I don't want to be them at this point. They want to be me. And there was just some satisfaction to that. It just was a really cool feeling. There are a few things that I bask. I don't even want to say bask in because that's not me. There are a few things that make me just sit back and go, you know, and be content. Man, that was one of the coolest times of my life.
So that did mean something to you
It meant
at a
everything.
personal level.
Everything to me.
Because I was wondering, because maybe your indifference to the business when you first got in and your ultimate goal and passion was to be a pro football player, if that really meant something to you.
It did, and you know, like my Hall of Fame speech.
Right.
I stated the fact that all I ever wanted to do is be a pro football player for many reasons. Obviously, you want to be successful. Obviously, you want to be looked at as a guy who, you know, can physically dominate people, you know, because you're that guy. But I wanted to be, and it's corny, and it's not me, you know, but it is me. I wanted to be a superhero for kids again. And I thought by me attaining the NFL stardom that not only could I satiate the things that I really wanted physically, mentally, but I could be that guy. And standing there doing that, I realized that by being in the WWE Hall of Fame, it was a hell of a lot easier a path to become that guy and be that guy than any NFL Hall of Fame spot would have given.
Okay, you're charged full of adrenaline. You've got the heavyweight championship. I guess it's at a Monday Nitro, and you get a cattle prod to the chest via Scott Hall, pinned by Kevin Nash.
On my birthday.
On your birthday. Salt in the wound.
I love you.
So, I mean, when that happened, and then literally a few weeks later, the finger poke of doom would happen, and Hogan would regain the World Heavyweight Championship. How did you take that?
Honestly, man, at that point in my life, I just looked at it as a loss. I didn't big picture it by any means because I didn't know enough about the business. And the more you analyze stuff, the more it pisses you off that, oh, well, it happened this way because of this. And the front office is going this way now and it's being run by these guys. And I don't want to lobotomize myself. You do it enough as it is. So I didn't know enough to really pass judgment and realize anything. I really didn't.
At that time, I can understand exactly what you're saying. But now, in retrospect, looking back, and I know you're not a guy that lives in the past, but now it's kind of like, really? I mean, in my mind,
the ultimate rib.
Right.
The ultimate rib. Now, it needed to happen at some point, but really, you know, come on.
But to your point, which kind of you've stated all along, you got into business, and you always treated the business as a business. So I think that's helped you make some very sound decisions.
I think so. I mean, it truly is a business. My competitive career ended with football. This is a male soap opera.
It's competitive.
It's competitive, and your success is based upon, you know, partially your ability to be better than people. It's not a competitive numbers game to where the best man wins it's just not. So you have to look at it differently.
I want to exit WCW, but before we do, there's a limousine, and you start punching out windows, and you get to that one side, and some bad shit happens.
The powers that be. Oh, man. Oh, jeez. The powers that be. They've got to be shaking in their boots in there.
Yeah, if I'm Bret Hart, if I'm the NWO, I'm going to have second thoughts.
Smashing in the windshield. If I'm Bret Hart, I'm worried about Monday.
You pound the hood, blood squirts everywhere.
It was awesome.
But the ramifications, what happened?
Yeah, you know, I mean, you have to be able to go 100 miles an hour like a light switch. To go from one end of the spectrum to the next, you have to either be crazy or you have to be, you know, extremely controlling, or you have to be a little bit of both. With the good comes the bad, right? And some things I may have taken personally, and a guy being a piece of shit, I take really personally. And, you know, Scott Hall is a piece of shit. And so I wanted to kill him that night, and he was the reason behind everything that happened. I made poor judgment because I was mad, and as opposed to grabbing a sledgehammer, I figured I'd use my own sledgehammer and just show how violent, and well, that was smart, you know. So, and I hit the big gimmick, and it doesn't break, and then I'm like, okay, this is live TV, and I'm gonna hit it again, and I hit it and go through it like a cheese grater, and I look down, and I'm like, oh, this is nice, live TV. Grab my hand, white limousine, go to the front. Great video, great shock. Boom, blood everywhere. I went nuts. Just one of those things where I, again, took it to another level just ignorant.
But with the healing process, I mean, I would imagine some depression set in, because some depression set in after the loss to Hogan, because you were on this friggin' rocket ride that no one had ever been on before. And so then all of a sudden that comes tumbling down, and you've been winning. It's the friggin' streak.
It was weird.
And now you get beat. So,
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. Honestly, not nearly as much as people think, because, as I said, it's not based on competition. So it's
I know,
it's
but you're
objective.
just riding momentum.
I get it, but it's objective. And so
Right.
I can't be disappointed in myself because I didn't lose anything based upon numbers or my output. I lost it because of a storyline. Being in the middle of that storyline, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, advice-wise that people throw at you, that was the luck of the draw. I couldn't dictate anything, because 9 times out of 10, I was that guy who was already under the heat, and so I just kept my mouth shut and kind of tried to follow directions. And, you know, it might have led me in the good place or a bad place, but I tried to listen, because it wasn't my place to decide things, because I didn't know the business.
Okay, the Monday Night Wars continued. You're in a healing process. I think you're getting ready to come back. But point being, WCW goes out of business in 2001.
I had a guaranteed deal. Why would I go back and work for half my money when I had a guaranteed deal to stay at home and recover?
You had the gold standard, the Time Warner contract. And so you stayed off instead of jumping in. And a lot of guys missed out on the invasion angle. I know a lot of people took part in it, but not everybody succeeded. You weren't there. So you're gone for a period of time. Then all of a sudden, around 03, you show up at the WWE. What were your thoughts coming in? We talked about it earlier, but now let's just cover it here.
I was the enemy. I came in and, you know, here are all these guys that I've been saying bad things about and, you know, trying to beat, kick their ass, you know, move for move, segment for segment, and now I'm one of them. Boy, this is going to go over well. And oh, by the way, Hunter and I didn't get along to begin with. Things were said from afar, and now I'm there, and now he's part of the office, and oh, talk about putting myself out on an island, and I didn't do nothing but make it worse in the beginning. But it's tough, because people can't empathize if they haven't been in your situation. And as great as the situation is or was, I was still at the mercy of the next person who gave me advice.
And who was that? I know Arn Anderson.
It depends. It was Arn. You know, it was Arn and Barry Bloom. You know, my agent helped me exponentially. And I would call certain guys and ask them certain things. But, I mean, I really didn't know who the good guy and who the bad guy was.
You last a year. All of a sudden, it's time for WrestleMania. WrestleMania 20. Madison Square Garden. And this is going to come full circle. Bill Goldberg, or Goldberg, versus Brock Lesnar. And there we are. And look what a young buck Brock Lesnar is here in this picture. And you're primed up as well. Me, hell, I got the double knee braces on. I cut myself skinning a deer. That's why the hand's all taped up.
You're hilarious.
Two just complete studs, just nose to nose. Athletes of a high caliber, wrestling background, football background. And there's frustration that happens because both of you guys are leaving, and everybody knew it. So the crowd checks out.
And Vince just hated me a little bit less than he did him.
Here we are in the Garden.
And you're trying to help, going, oh God, what do I do?
I got a story for you. Watch this.
And Brock, I thought Brock was going to kill me because he was so mad at everybody else. I thought he was going to take it out on me.
He was mad.
And I'm like, what? Where am I? What's going on?
Here's you.
That's what I thought I could get him just riled up and we just go. And he was consumed by it. It fed me. We should have just gone into the crowd and started tagging people.
The story I was going to tell you, at one point during that match, because y'all were pacing, I'm like, I was really over in the Garden. I'm thinking, man, something's got to happen. I said, I'm just going to take off and start hitting the ropes. And believe it or not, it's no WCW spot. They were having a battle royal down in the Citadel, half a house, and Bobby Eaton just started running the ropes.
Really?
I'd already blown out my knee, and someone had thrown me over the top rope, and finally someone threw him out. I said, God damn it, Bobby, so what the fuck were you doing? He goes, hell, boy, if ain't nobody going to grab something, I'm going to just start hitting the ropes. And I laughed my ass off. So I figured, man, if I just start hitting the ropes, the place will just come like that. But I said, I ain't gonna steal these guys' moments. These guys are friends of mine, and I respect them too much, so I ain't doing shit. It was weird though, right?
Weird is an understatement.
So for 12 years, dude, 04, now we're about to go film The Longest Yard. You and I are gonna get together, because we don't really know each other yet. But how did that resonate with you for a long time?
It did not sit well with me for a long period of time. I had nothing but animosity towards the WWE and anybody and everybody associated with it. I mean, I had my friends, that were kind of excluded from that, but, it was just a really bad taste in my mouth. I mean, I spent the whole year there being defensive, and it translated as offensive, And man, in all honesty, man, I just want to get along. I just wanted to be part of the team, and hey, give me some responsibility. I can tow it,
But how did it feel?
Different.
Okay, at this point, because you'd had so much success in WCW, where we're just revered by the fans, and then you get to WWE, and the run is not so much, and then you get booed out of the Garden, and this is in a short window of time.
I know.
That's what's fascinating about your career.
Well, it
to me.
felt like they had accomplished what they wanted to accomplish with me for the years, completely discount what I had gained prior to that, and then have me next to you and have, me fail miserably and have you be the king.
But how were you mentally? Because Falcon said, hey, it's time to go. Carolina says, you're out. Now wrestling says, you're out.
Well,
or y'all.
I had an opportunity to do something still. When I went to Japan, which was freaking the coolest thing ever in the wrestling business.
Well, that's a style that fits right up your alley.
It was perfect. It messed with me throughout the years, but it didn't define me. It just left a really bad taste in my mouth. I felt like it was unfinished business, but it was unfinished business that was never going to be finished.
So you're working on a movie, Santa's Slave, and you meet your wife, Wanda.
God.
And she's a stunt woman. Yeah. And so you decided, here she is, and she's wonderful. What was that all about? In 3 months, you decided, hey, this is the woman. You guys both in a relationship at the time.
Yeah.
And love at first sight and communication.
Hopefully I don't say anything that can incriminate. The statute of limitations is over here, right?
I think.
I better be. Yeah, man. I was we're all in differing relationships in differing parts of our life. I wasn't in the healthiest one at the time. I signed on to do this movie. Brett Ratner's understudy, got to do this movie up in Edmonton. It was cool. I had the lead. I got to be a Jewish guy playing a killer Santa Claus. That's the coolest thing ever, right? There was a strip club scene. Extremely long story short, we go do the scene. There's 49 naked girls in the room, and there's one with a blue robe on. And it's a stunt woman. So we come back, and so we're walking through the scene, rehearsing it, and the scene is, I'm Santa Claus. I come in the front door of the strip club. I kill the first 2 bouncers. Then I'm chased by a patron and the bartender throughout the bar. And so they chase me, and I go up on a table, then I nip up from the table, and I land, and I jump to a swing. She's sitting on the swing. We hadn't met before, so you could do the logistics. I mean, I can't look up. Let's just put it that way. So she taps me on the shoulder after some 5 minutes of very uneasy silence, and she says, usually before a guy sticks his head between my legs, he buys me a beer first. And I looked up and I went, I love you. Do you want a beer? She only did the move. She's a stunt woman, right? Yeah. And she had to have pasties, and she had a skirt, and she's usually crashing stuff. She's not doing a strip club scene, but she agreed to do the movie because she thought she was doing it with Jeff Goldblum.
Are you shitting me?
Swear to God. So she walks in. This gets better. She walks in, she goes, where's Jeff Goldblum? And they go, what? And they go, you mean Goldberg? And she goes, who the hell is that? And they say, well, he's this famous wrestler. And she goes, you mean that fake shit? I don't hear any of this, and I don't know any of it. So then we went and rehearsed the scene, and she had 3 rules. She didn't date a stuntman, a professional athlete, or an actor. I guess I was all of them at the time. So 3 months later, we get married, and I've lived the fantasy life ever since.
Obviously, to me, I mean, when I talk about some of the things that you're most passionate about, cars and football immediately come to mind. But now that I know you as the husband of Wanda and the father of Gage, that is your number one priority.
Yeah. Our priorities changed throughout the years. I knew that there were so many things I wanted to accomplish before I started a family. But once you start a family, you're all in. There's only one way to do it. And so, right time, right place, more than the right woman. And she's blessed me with an unbelievable son. And just every day of my life, man, I spend some time with him. And hopefully he'll be an extension of me a little bit, the good part. And the bad part, hopefully he takes after his mom.
Many years ago, in about '99, I came to your place out there. And then a few years later, I would come when Gage was just a youngster.
Good God, look at Wanda there.
Because now, good call.
Hold on to that.
So, but now he's 13, 14 years old, and going back to 2016, they know you as this guy that used to wrestle. They've never been around it, and Wanda wasn't a fan of wrestling, didn't watch it. What's going on here? Because you get a call from WWE or whatever. Explain to me how you got back into business after a 12-year absence, because your 12-year absence basically represents almost the entire length of my career, with an injury and a FU to the company when I thought I was being wronged. So you've laid off for a long time, and now you're back. Something to prove or something to show them?
You know, after my last performance, you would think that it would be something to prove, but in all honesty, and I can tell you this with 100% confidence, I didn't feel as though I needed to prove anything after WrestleMania 20. That wasn't on me. It wasn't on Brock. It was a situational thing.
Agreed.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, I had moved on that aspect, but I still harbored the negative feelings for the business, for Vince, for everybody associated with it. You know, I get married, and people come up to me all the time, and when they don't ask if I'm Steve Austin, they say if I'm Goldberg. And so there's stories out there. There's obviously documentation. There's the internet, and so they knew me as someone completely different than this guy who had been terrorizing the wrestling ring and the football field for years. And I'm sick and flippin' tired of saying, well, when I played so I got the opportunity, unbeknownst to me, 16 years removed, and I'm old and I'm small and I'm hurt and but hey, you got an opportunity, and you can hopefully set the stage to show your family a little bit about what you did. Well, there's so much that comes with that. It's not like it was 2003 again, and I said, oh, yeah, sure, absolutely, let's go do it. I had to think of a lot of things, and physically is only part of it. I retired from football for a career-ending injury before I got in the wrestling business, okay? Not many people will say that or acknowledge that, but, I couldn't walk. I couldn't run. There were things that I could not physically do, but I sucked it up, and I became this other person, and I went into a different endeavor. Well, 16 years removed, you can only imagine the injuries and how they compile, Mr. Austin. And the familiarity you once had with the business, you never really made it to a point where you were a good worker and people could rely upon you running matches. Okay, there's that. And then there's you're 16 years older, and then limited move set, and then I'm a power wrestler. It's not really easy to come back, at 50 years old, weighing 295, having veins popping out of your neck. So there was just so many things that I had to take into consideration, but I sucked it up and I made a decision, and I put it all out there on the line to hopefully give my family a glimpse. That's all. I didn't do it to come back and try to be the guy again and be Goldberg, whatever, and because I needed that, and I just wanted them to see a little bit of it.
But like you said, and we were talking on the phone earlier, you making a comeback and going back, just like you just said, all those years removed, 290 jack with veins everywhere and traps, that were about a foot tall, and you're not that guy anymore, but that's the guy that everybody's wanting to come through there.
You think I don't want to be that guy?
Goldberg,
And then here's this old freaking man coming through there, you know, and he's all gray. And so, I mean, it's tough, man. It's tough.
Leading into that, you seriously doubted yourself. And I pull out my phone because you made an appearance in Denver and you set the stage to take on Brock Lesnar. And man, when you walked out there, you know, you looked good, but I could see doubt in your eyes.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a long time, and you didn't forget.
I could see that
That was the first
you
time.
needed that.
That was the first time that the wrestling business had seen someone other than the ass-kicking machine that blows smoke out of his nose. And that was all by design. Because if you're a power wrestler and you come back 16 years far removed and you used to eat frickin' people and spit them out of your ass, you have to have an excuse to not be that guy. Right? So I added a layer to my character. And I let my family in on it when I never in a trillion years would have let my family be on camera prior to the situation that I found myself in where Goldberg needed an excuse to not be 295. I had to be vulnerable because what I presented was a different package that couldn't attain what he attained before based upon his ferocity, his mental makeup, and his physicality. Because I wasn't that guy. I needed a crutch. I needed a
No,
diversion.
it's a hook. I don't think it's a crutch, it's a hook.
It was both.
Yeah, but it was
For
smart.
me.
Well, here's the thing about you. You pull off the dumb jock real well, but you're anything but.
Oh, thank you.
You know what I mean?
I like to be the antithesis of what people think I am.
But this time, when you came out there and that Denver crowd they really gave you love. And then
paid that
one
shit out of
just,
them.
yeah.
I mean, and you know, and truthfully, full disclosure, every single time I go out there, I think they're going to boo me. Every single time, you know. So I'm pleasantly surprised if something positive happens. And thank God for that crowd that night because they really made me feel as though I had never left.
In reading your book, you say you're pessimistic by nature.
Absolutely. That makes you who you are.
But why? I mean, you have so many great things going for you.
You're only as good as your next performance. Living in yesterday and all that is for people who don't strive to be the best. I am only as good as I strive to be the next 5 minutes.
You know, one of the things you said, maybe for the first time, this isn't about me, with reference to Wanda and Gage. And then you also said, I don't foresee myself having any fun during this entire process. And you were just a ball of nerves. You admitted being scared.
I called you. You remember that? I called CT. I called all the people that could help me, you know, build me back up again. If that was the case, if I still had the ability to do that and give me the ability to be me. I'll never forget when CT was on the phone and he goes, man, just be Goldberg. I'm like, well, okay then. That's easy.
Yeah. It wasn't
Not that easy.
No, it ain't. And you questioned your ability to pull this off.
Always.
Because you wanted Wanda engaged to see you be successful, but you questioned if you could pull it off or not. And you said, it's something that I'm terrified of, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Stop me if I'm boring you. But you said, I'm an emotional wreck. Mm-hmm. And you finally said, so much fucking pressure.
Mm-hmm. But here's the deal too, right? I'm just answering a question. I'm not going out and saying, hey, man, here's my little violin, please.
No, I get it.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
But it comes across like that sometimes. And people have to understand that if you ask me a question, I don't give a shit what it is. I'm going to give you an answer. What might not be what you want to hear, but my answer might feed into what people's perceive. It's like,
Okay.
you know, that's all. So, man, I don't give a shit if it's brushing my teeth or filling pods or going out and playing football. I don't care. I'm going to give 100%. I'm going to represent the team, and I'm going to make sure that my name is on the back of my shirt. And I have an image to uphold. And that image is not of me, it's of the people that walked this earth before me with my last name. And I have a responsibility. And I'm not gonna stop at anything that I do, striving to be the best until I'm dead.
One of the guys I think that was instrumental in helping you during that time was probably, I think, someone you can tell me that you trust all in. A guy who helped me back in my formative years is Paul Heyman. Would you say that he helped in this process of, like I said, no excuses? I mean, it was a high pressure situation.
If it was not for Heyman, my comeback would not have happened. Not that he made the call to make it.
Copy.
It's just that creatively, he was kind of, that's part of my deal, right?
Right.
And there's certain people that know you and certain people that don't know you. Therefore, you try to set the stage in a situation to where if things can go wrong, they can go really wrong with the most qualified people who know you more than anyone on the planet. It's not the time for a booker to come in and try to learn about you. We have to know what worked and apply it immediately. There is no trial and error. I mean, I trust him exponentially with my career.
So you went out there with Brock.
And Goldberg dropping Lesnar. Goldberg was unfazed, and Lesnar couldn't believe it.
In short fashion, you dominated him 1, 2, 3. On top of the world. How did that feel?
It was the coolest thing in the world, man. And, you know, for Brock, man, and Heyman, they made it happen. And the business, and Vince and those, they made it happen. They made it work. And I'm forever indebted. And hey, let's be honest, if it didn't make money, they wouldn't have done it, right? So I was in the right place at the right time again, and thank God that I have kept the mentality that I have throughout the years, because it made it possible to step into that ring again and be part of that guy.
But people cared, and emotions sell tickets, and they're emotionally involved. And just look at the setup here. The look on Paul Heyman's eyes. Brock just incredulous. I can't believe you just did that. And Brock is. Some people don't give that guy credit for being as great of a worker as he is, but what a great talent and an explosive talent. And to be able to go against a guy that can finally, give him a sense of some physicality. Yeah, you're not at your prime here, but there's not too many guys on the roster that are built like you are at this moment in time. So it was a very short match, shocked the world, and people went away happy, and it was a happy story.
There's no reason to put more into it, but
Okay.
a lot of people do.
So you end up coming back, and you decide there's going to be another match, or somehow you win a Universal title from Kevin Owens, and then we're going to WrestleMania 33, where it's going to be Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar. And this, to me, will you tell me?
That was the first time, about 10 minutes before that shot,
Great shot.
or 10 seconds before that, right when I got into Gorilla. So we talk about going into Gorilla a lot. Obviously, it's not a lot of kayfabe anymore. So I go into Gorilla. And that walk in Orlando was flipping a mile and a half. And everybody's like, is Goldberg going to gas out? Is he going to pass out? Is he, I just get amped up. People don't understand. They say I'm all sweaty and tired before I go to the ring. Hey guys, I pour water on my body so that I don't catch fire in my sparks. So I have this mental thing going on, and I'm like, okay, this is going to be different. This is my last one ever. I'm going to try to enjoy some semblance of it.
Ever see me smile here before? Never. Not once. Great job.
I was smiling, and because I go into Gorilla, man, I had already headbutted something. I got blood working. I'm doing my thing. I've got to be that apex ass-kicking person. It's not easy. I can't just turn it on and off like a light. I have to have 20 seconds or 30, give me a little bit of time. But I walk in there and I hug him and I'm laughing and I'm like, hey man, it's all good. I'm gonna have fun this time. And he's worried, right? Completely worried. And I got through that curtain, man, and I took a couple steps and I looked down at all the people and I smiled, and I, for the first time, truthfully, I think for the first time walking to the ring, I enjoyed it. I just enjoyed being in the moment at that time. And I enjoyed the ability to be given an opportunity from whoever it was from to be able to be in the situation I am and provide something for my family that a father and a husband, rarely gets an opportunity to do. And for me, that meant everything. I've accomplished everything in the world that I ever could imagine. But if I can give to my family something, thankfully with everyone's help, another way to make them smile, to make them proud of me, I guess, at the end of the day, it was cool, man.
You guys went out there and rocked the house.
Then she was pissed because she thought I ripped my ear off.
But it was a short but violent, explosive, impactful match that needed to be. Y'all had the match that you needed to have. We didn't need to see Goldberg and Lesnar go 15, 20 with a bunch of arm drags.
Everybody can do it.
You had these two friggin' batarams going out there, and then, after Suplex City, spear out of nowhere, bunch of suplexes, and then you back into you, and then ultimately you do the favors. 1, 2, 3. Brock is a Universal Champion. As you're laying there and you've accomplished everything and you're giving back, what were you thinking? Sense of relief?
Is this how I lose? I don't know. Am I doing it right?
Damn right you are.
No, I don't know. I mean, because it happens so infrequently. It was just weird. When I lose, I feel like I'm completely out. I don't know what to do. It's weird. So immediately, I'm just trying to play it right. I mean, how do I act? I mean, it's weird. It's just.
Well, that's fascinating to hear you say that.
It's true, though.
Yeah, but you hardly ever lost.
I know. So, I mean, how am I supposed to react? It's just a weird deal.
But I mean, to me, when I stopped at WrestleMania 19 with The Rock, when they hit the 3 count, it was like 1,000 pounds was lifted off my back. I had a lot of neck issues, a lot of other issues, and I knew I was riding off in the sunset. So for me, it was relief.
I truthfully don't know. I was cleansed. It wasn't relief. You know what? It was relief in that my performance was culminated, with all that training and rehab and everything just to get to that night, and that was accomplished, and so I could go, I guess is what it was. They're really, because nothing I really do has a stamp on it, right? This isn't a retirement match.
Right.
Nobody, I'm just, here's Goldberg again.
Going back to what you're saying, I've told many people along the way as you pass down knowledge to the next generations, it's like anybody can learn how to win. You can really learn something by losing. And to your point, here you are, guy.
It
It's
sounds
a great
stupid
match.
as hell.
Against a guy that
But,
in 20 you could have knocked the roof off place, and now 33 you do, and then you get beat. But it's like, hey, this is so fucking unfamiliar. What's up?
Yeah, I mean, as stupid as it sounds, honestly, it's very strange.
It
I mean,
doesn't
how
sound
long-
stupid to
how
me.
long
I
do
get it.
Stay here. Is it disrespectful he just beat me? I'm Goldberg. I've never been beat, decisively. What do it's all a storyline thing, and you just don't want to do anything to supersede the ability for you to do it again, or for it to lessen it. I don't know. I'm still learning the business, man. I am, honest to God. And I'm the first one to tell you that I'm still green, and I always will be. It's always a learning experience. It's something that I didn't aspire to do, so I was in my 30s. I got a really late start at it.
Man, I tell you what, I've been looking forward to this conversation, and again, I think you've had one of the most fascinating careers of all time, and just reached a zenith of hotness. As you would say to an opponent or to someone in the locker room, who's next? What's next for Bill Goldberg?
Let's see here. We got Dodge coming out again. I'm Santa Claus and the mayor of Musselville, the nice Jewish representation of my faith around Christmas holiday, Hanukkah season. Got the reoccurring role in the Goldbergs sometimes and NCIS. We hopefully got another car show coming up the pipe. And I'm moving to Texas, boy, right down the road from where you used to be. So my Oklahoma roots are kind of, I'm moving back to that part of the country. Cannot wait to start that new chapter.
Man, it's been an absolute pleasure talking with you. If you need any hookups in Texas, I'm heavily connected there. And you know people everywhere. Don't kayfabe me, so you probably already got some roots down there. But if you need my help, I'm sure they will welcome you with open arms. But thank you for coming down here to the Broken Skull Sessions.
I will tell you that there is no other time that I have actually smiled driving up to this part of California because I knew that I was going to be able to hang out with you. And from afar, I've always been a fan, and you know we've got to be good friends throughout the years. And I got to tell you, man, I greatly appreciate your friendship, and I'm a huge fan of yours. And we have so many parallels. It's absolutely hilarious. And you're just as good of a guy as you were a worker. And for that, I appreciate it. And you know, they say sometimes when you meet your idols, you're disappointed, but it's so nice to meet you, Steve, and hang out. But, you know, it's all good, man. It's an honor and a privilege. It really is. I love hanging out, man, and we need to spend more time together.
We will. We will. It's a pleasure talking to you. And my name is Stone Cold Steve Austin. And if I'm mistaken in an airport tomorrow and someone calls me Goldberg, I will smile at them and say thank you. Thanks for joining us. It's been a pleasure talking with Goldberg, and that's the bottom line. Why? Because Stone Cold said so.